listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
The testimonials appearing in this podcast reflect individual experiences and individual results may vary. Cardinal Health does not claim, nor should the listener assume, that any individual experience recounted in this podcast is representative of what another consumer may experience.
The Cardinal Health Counter Talk podcast, in collaboration with Pharmacy Podcast Network, is for independent pharmacists to learn about the state of the industry, innovative services and solutions, and the future of pharmacy. Join me, your host, Jason Calori, for conversations with pharmacists, Cardinal Health leaders, and industry experts, sharing best practices, discussing industry trends, and showcasing Cardinal Health products and services. You can subscribe to the Cardinal Health Counter Talk podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cardinal Health Counter Talk podcast. I'm your host, Jason Calori, and in this episode of the Counter Talk podcast, we will be discussing a topic close to my heart, which is the Cardinal Health Retail Business Conference, or better known as RBC. Here with me to discuss this is pharmacist Joan R. Wissinger from Apothecare Pharmacy, sharing her story and experience of numerous RBCs that she has attended. She's local to Columbus and works at Southeast Healthcare, so she will be able to provide a great perspective. Welcome to the show, Joan.
Thank you.
Well, before we get into the conversation, I do want to give a little bit of a background of RBC. RBC has always been a celebration of independent pharmacy. Now, it did start all the way back in 1991 as two regional shows, and then it became a single meeting in 1993 in Orlando. Today, RBC is an annual event featuring over 4,000 attendees, about 3,800 plus pharmacies representing all 50 states, including Puerto Rico. To me, every year, it's incredible to see all the peer-to-peer and supplier networking that happens at RBC. It's a perfect opportunity for pharmacists to share ideas, best practices, and for Cardinal Health to learn something from our pharmacists and to help pharmacies navigate the challenges and complexities of today's market so they can further their position as a vital community healthcare destination. So, Joan, I just want to get right into it. Why do you attend RBC every year? And really quick, how many RBCs have you been to?
I've been to, this will be my 25th.
Your 25th?
Mm-hmm.
So why do you feel the need to attend every single year since you've been coming so long?
Well, I think RBC rejuvenates you to go back and do your job every year. Mm-hmm. First of all, opening ceremony or opening session, whatever we call it, is so exciting. So you have somebody who usually is a sports person, like General Powell was amazing. Like that's the one that sticks with me.
One.
And then you go to the trade show floor, you're amongst your peers, but you hear so many stories and they give you new ideas. You have people on the big screen that share stories and give you ideas that you never thought about in your own business. So sometimes you get caught up in the day-to-day. Like I've been a pharmacist since 89 and you get stuck in that day-to-day routine. So then you go to RBC and you hear their stories. You're like, oh, I could be doing that or I could be doing this. And it rejuvenates you. And you're like, oh, and you get so excited to go back and change things and be better at what you're doing.
Yeah, I love that. How did you hear about RBC initially?
Well, when we first opened the pharmacy, we were owned by CVS ProCare, and we were with Bergen Brunswick before they were consolidated. And then our company, Southeast, actually bought the pharmacy from CVS, and then we switched to Cardinal. So my rep then said, hey, we have this RBC, you need to go. And then we weren't actually supposed to go because we weren't considered retail. We were something else. So, but from that point on, I just love going every year. I think it's crazy that people would not attend because with this, you have the CE opportunities, but just the camaraderie and everything you can learn and the amount of effort that Cardinal puts into it on our behalf as retail pharmacy people. I just think it's a shame people don't go.
Yeah, as someone that's on the planning team for RBC, we do put a lot of work into it. We try to improve it each and every year. Every single year, has its different challenges. But really, when you get there and we see customers like you that are so valuable and learning from each other and taking in all the things that RBC has to offer, that's the best part for us to see as it's happening. If you could go back and think of a year that you thought was either the best year of RBC, just overall, like what your experience was, and on top of that, what also What was the greatest thing you ever took back to your pharmacy from an RBC?
Well, of course, my favorite RBC was the first one.
Okay.
Because that was just like the aha moment that, because I just started the pharmacy and it validated me that I'm important. You know, like, wow, what I'm doing makes a difference. I'm not just another staff pharmacist that, independent pharmacy people really make a difference. Because you hear it from everybody there. And Cardinal Health validates that too. They make you feel like you're part of a team, a humongous team, you're just not one little ship sailing all by itself. What I take back, not just from that one, but from every RBC is you can reach out. These people might not know me personally, but I feel like I could reach out to my Cardinal rep and he could put me in touch with anybody in the 50 states and Puerto Rico who may be going through a similar situation, and any of those people would help me out. So it's not a competition because we're independents and we're all trying to succeed. It's a group. It's, we all want each other to succeed. We all want to help each other. It's so much more than a business. Because of the PBMs taking so much away from us, we've all had to find different avenues. And that avenue is patient care and making the patient feel important and not competing with the CVSs or the big boys. So what makes us stand out is putting the patients first. And that's not just counting and pouring. It's making them feel like we're so much more than that. And I do that every day in my business. And I lose people to the big chains, but 90% of them always come back because they realize they're just a number there and they're not cared for like we care for them. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing, that I'm part of a community that gets validated every year, because the other 364 days you get lost in your day-to-day work, but you go that one day and it's like a pharmacy vacation.
Yeah, I think part of it is a vacation, but also another big part of it is, like you said, learning from your peers and taking something back to your store that you can implement right away.
Correct.
To that point, what has been some of the things that you have taken back to your business or your profession from RBC that you were able to implement, or maybe that you're still implementing now?
The biggest thing, not from my peers, but the machine. We have a Parada machine that I found out about at RBC. Just talking to the people and talking to other peers. Hey, which ones do you like better? Which one works? Which ones doesn't? But also listening to people and incorporating, like over the counters. We don't sell over the counters because we're considered a closed door pharmacy. But how can we implement that into patient care? So they're on all these other medications, but how can over-the-counter supplements help? And you got that from on the floor from listening to other people. There's so much like the MTMs. So you can make money outside of just your dispensing, and it's listening to other people. Like pharmacists going, when our patients are discharged from the hospital, go to their homes. We cannot do that because of the type of clients we service, but we can make a phone call, or we have very integrated healthcare that we work with case managers and say, hey, this person was discharged from the hospital. We need to go together. You call us and get the discharge meds. We need to work together. And we do compliance packaging to make sure everything is there for them. So those are all things that I learned at RBC, or I heard other people talking about. I went back and said, hey, this is a revenue source as well as what's best for our patients to make sure that they're taking all the medications and the right medications.
Yeah. Aside from a technology standpoint, is there anything else maybe professionally that you've taken back that you learned from another pharmacist at RBC?
I would say just kindness to our customers.
Okay.
And just putting customers number one.
Yeah. I love that.
Because I think sometimes we forget that it's not about the almighty dollar sometimes. It's just the kinder you are to somebody, the more they're going to support you.
Yeah. And to your point earlier, people may leave, go to CVS or another chain, but they seem to always come back.
Right. And it's okay to say no, as we had talked about earlier. We can't always be giving stuff away as we used to in the olden days, like when we're talking about home health care and nursing homes. We used to, we'll provide the carts, we'll provide the MARs, we'll provide all this stuff because PBMs are taking so much away from us. We can't be always giving everything away. So we have to put our foot down and say no. And that's okay too, because, your parents told you no, they didn't give you everything because then our customers are going to expect so much but give nothing back. So if you say no, but you show them everything that you have to offer, say, go ahead, go somewhere else, see what they offer, and then make the decision where you want to be. And if you're as good as I know we are, they're always going to come back.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's dive into a little bit about RBC here in 2025, which is taking place in Denver, Colorado, the Colorado Convention Center. What are you most excited for RBC 2025 and looking ahead here into July?
Well, Derek Jeter, of course.
Derek Jeter, of course, yes. Derek Jeter will be our opening session speaker at RBC this year. I am completely looking forward to meeting him. Even though I'm a New York Met fan, because I grew up in New York, I did have a lot of respect for Derek Jeter.
Oh,
so,
how can you not? I mean,
yeah.
I'm a Pirates fan, but that doesn't say a lot, but I do love my Pirates.
So being in Denver, have you ever been to Denver before?
I have not. Colorado Springs, my sister lives there, so that's kind of nice. She's going to come over and see me, but, you know.
Yeah, so you've had no really experience exploring the Mile High City quite yet?
No, not at all.
Okay. So what advice would you give to first-time attendees to get the most out of the RBC experience before they even go, if it's their first time?
I would say, first of all, make sure you look over all the agenda before you go or once you first get there, because you don't plan out your days, because like you had said, you want to make the most out of the experience. Do not, under any circumstance, miss the opening session, because that, like, you will be so excited about your career, pharmacy, listening to Derek Jeter talk. I can guarantee that. I mean, I personally don't know him, but they are just, they motivate you so much. And even listening, they'll have stories from other pharmacists who are doing tremendous work within their own pharmacy, and it just gets you so excited to be like, oh, I can do that. And it's just amazing. So then, you know, you go to the trade show floor, and that's so exciting. I mean, it's just like an adrenaline rush that you want to do better and be a better pharmacist when you leave there. And then, of course, a million CEs, but look and see what you need to do to make you the better pharmacist for your setting. Like, my setting's not going to be the same as your setting's going to be, because I'm all mental health. So, like, past CEs was like preceptorship. I needed to be a better preceptor. So I did so many CEs at past RBCs that were tremendous. And actually, one of the people teaching it was the school where we got a lot of our preceptors from. So I actually met her afterwards and learned a lot from her.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yes, which would have never happened if I wasn't at RBC. But you also can schedule, okay, I have free time here, and then you want to make sure you're hitting the floor and listening to the things on the floor. Like, they'll have stuff about government, you know, what's happening with the government.
Yeah, we have an industry session now every year, which kind of gives those updates.
Absolutely.
Doug Hoy from NCPA usually takes the stage, and he'll break down everything that's happening on the Hill, everything that's in flux, everything that's upcoming, changes up into that minute that we talk about at RBC. What kind of value do you find in that? Oh,
tremendous value, because how many of us take the time in our busy day to get online and read about that stuff? And it's not something you're going to hear on the nightly news. They're not going to take, 5 minutes to say, oh, this is what's happening in pharmacy. So I think, and so many people are parents also, so it's like, that's the last thing you hear. So it's like, you take the time at RBC and you're like, wow, okay. So it does it for you. Once again, Cardinal is tremendous in providing you the information you need to hear. And you're already there. So take the time to do that, to listen to it. And, you're there, so make sure you're learning what you need to know. That's why I say plan out everything, see what fits best for your business. And then while you're there, take advantage of it. But also take advantage of going to see Denver. It's like a free vacation,
Yeah. Actually, in that industry session, we also have Sunil Gupta, who's going to be speaking about pharmacy burnout and reinvigorating your whole mindset while you're at your pharmacy. So I'm really excited to see what he has to say. I think he'll be a great speaker. Then, of course, we have Customer Appreciation Night, which is always a favorite of every single attendee. What has been one of your favorite Customer Appreciation Nights? Oh,
I love it when we take the boat on the water, which won't happen there.
So the booze cruise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say that like that. Yeah.
All right, so the boat cruise.
Yeah, and Kelly Clarkson was phenomenal. Oh, my God.
Oh, that concert, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This year, we actually have a couple comedians that are going to be coming in, including Dana Carvey.
Oh, my God. That would be so fun.
The amazing SNL alum that you've known for his work on Wayne's World and some other incredible movies that he's been a part of. So he's going to be our comedy night featured guest.
There's been so many, though. I mean, Sheryl Crow was good. I mean, there was Darius Rucker, loved it when he was there. I mean, I can't even remember them all, but there's so many.
Darius Rucker and Kelly Clarkson, to your point, I think were kind of my top two.
Yes.
Fun. Because not only were they amazing concerts, but they were also incredible people.
Yeah.
When you talk to them behind the scenes, they were just great. Going back to kind of the show floor and your experience, purchasing products on the mobile app, planning your day beforehand, you mentioned. What has been what advice would you give for, when you hit the show floor, maybe how to navigate that and to spend your time equally wisely across the entire show floor?
Well, that's definitely not my strong point because I'm a shopper and I'm just one that walks around aimlessly looking at everything.
You're easily distracted.
Oh, the shiny, pretty. But no, I'm not a good app user, so that's not. But definitely, once you download it, it's simple. I mean, you're just, before we used to have to go fill out the paper. I want 2 of these. Here's my sticker. Now it's, scan and go.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is I walk the whole floor, see where everything is. I know there's a chart, but I'm more of a visual. And then the next day I focus more on, okay, what do I need to buy? Where do I need to go? But I think it's whatever works for you, because my pharmacy doesn't have front end. So that's not where my priorities are. I'm not, buying front end stuff. So you have to decide what you're going to buy, where your focus is, and then, but it's so much fun. You have 2 whole days on the floor. There's ice cream, there's popcorn, there's drinks. Enjoy. Just walk around and don't be stressed. Don't be think, oh my gosh, I have to do everything right now. Just, walk around and enjoy the people. And, there's usually entertainment there and there's food. I mean, my gosh, just enjoy. Don't stress out.
Actually, going back to customer appreciation night, do you know where it is this year?
Yes.
So it's going to be at Empower Field,
yes.
we're literally going to be on the field. So everybody's going to get to experience what it's like to be in an NFL stadium and literally on the field. We'll have I think we'll have live music there. It's going to be pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Just being in that whole arena as a huge, thank you to you guys and the customers for not only supporting, RBC and Cardinal Health, but also just the work that you do each and every day.
Yeah, but Cardinal Health is a huge part of that too. So we need to thank you guys.
No, we definitely
for always
appreciate
supporting
that.
us.
All right. So as far as RBC 2025, as far as CEs go, as far as show floor goes, as far as I know, obviously getting out and seeing Denver, what is your main priority here in 2025 when you get to RBC this year?
My main priority is to see what is new that I can take back to improve my pharmacy. Okay. Because you have to do things that's going to improve revenue. That's always it, because selling medication is not doing it right now. So I'm going to focus mainly on the showroom floor, not so much the purchasing, but what does Cardinal have to offer that's new and exciting? So it's usually the main area. I don't know what you guys call that.
Yeah, that would be the Cardinal Health Showcase.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
all of our solutions, new solutions, new offerings are all featured in that area.
And Rance is my guy. So, that's the first thing he'll take me and walk me around it. And that's what I encourage anybody to do when you schedule your time with your person. What do you want? So that's what I want to say. Is there something new? Because we have 340B as well as retail stock. And it's always what can I do to enhance that? And then opening session, listening to people. What are you doing that I should be doing or could be doing? So it's just listening for me, a lot of it with, my peers. And what am I not doing? What can I learn? What can I take back? There's always 340B sessions for continuing education that always helps me, being a 340B pharmacy, because that's the hardest thing to understand and navigating with government right now.
Of course.
That's really a touchy subject. Is it going to be here? Is it not? So
yeah, CE is a big cornerstone of what we do at RBC to really help educate and keep people up on all of the trending topics they need to know in pharmacy. Correct.
So like I said before, you need to, what is your pharmacy doing? What is most advantage for you? But, those are the things I'm going to focus on. Mainly listening to Derek Jeter, seeing if we play the Denver Broncos, is there any way I can sabotage the field so the Steelers win? Just kidding. But, but, it's just such a joyful experience. I mean, I don't really go with a plan, but I just kind of let it happen, and you let
the show come to you.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just love being there, and I just learn. It's just, I do plan, like I'll get up, I'll go beforehand. Usually it's on the flight, and I'll see what's happening and what I want to do for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And then if other things come up, then, it just happens. But
so somewhat plan ahead, but definitely let the show come to you in a certain way.
Because I don't think you know what people are going to say or how it's going to impact you until you're actually there. But you just got to be open. Oh, and then they have exercise, and we didn't talk about that. Like every day, there's like exercise classes, and then we have
fitness classes that go on each day, just for people who want to stay healthy and keep up their workouts while they're at RBC, since they are there for
really
several
good.
days. Yeah,
there's like yoga, which I cannot do, and then they have the dogs, the animals. You always have to stop and see the animals.
The relaxation station, or we love those areas. Those are some new things that we've incorporated in RBC, just for people to relax and take a beat, and from all the different business all the business things that are happening all around the show floor and making decisions. Maybe they just need to take a beat and just think about it for a little bit. And why not do that while you're hanging out with a puppy?
Right. Well, I think somebody that's new needs to realize, hey, I can get up, start my day with yoga or with exercise, and then go to hit instead of going to the gym, do the Cardinal, because they're really good. They're not just like something simple. They're tough.
Yeah, and last year we had the first time we had a pickleball court that we built. And I think this year the big ad is going to be a golf simulator.
Oh boy.
So we might have a line outside.
I'll be parking my husband there, and he will not be joining me the rest of the show. But I think that's why I say you kind of have to let it come to you organically, because those are things you don't think about planning. But you're like you said, you're not stressed at RBC, but I'm not by any means, but it's kind of nice that if you have an exercise routine at home, you're kind of think, I have to get to the gym, but you don't, because it's fun, because then you're there with your coworkers, and you end up laughing because you'll see somebody fall over or stuff, and it's just fun because then you interact with people there also as outside of work environment or talking about pharmacy. I just love the whole experience. I just think it's very.
Yeah, we call that whole area the wellness zone, and we just love getting people interacted in there, and just seeing all the different things, just to, like I said, just to kind of take a beat from the show floor. But really, to kind of close this out, I do want just basically talking to you and seeing how excited you get. My biggest takeaway from you is really for everyone to get to RBC, make sure you go, but really spend time with your peers and the people that are also independent pharmacists. You guys together as a group are extremely powerful. You can learn from one another. And to me, do you feel that's the most important part of RBC?
Oh, absolutely. And you go there as an individual, but I feel you can, if you want, and you should be willing to talk to everybody as a big community. Like if you hear someone on the screen say, oh, I'm doing this and it's really working, like discharge people from the hospital or using supplements in their pharmacy or whatever. You're going to hear things that are new every year. Feel free to find out who that person is. Your rep's going to be able to find out, oh, who was that person on the screen? You're going to see their name. They're going to be more than willing to talk to you, or else they wouldn't be willing to have their face plastered on the, in front of 3,000 people. That's why we all go, to be a community, to help each other. I think back in the day, it was more, we don't want to share secrets because it's about, but now if we don't start coming together and work as a community, we're not going to be here, because I think independent pharmacy has the potential to grow bigger, because we do see the chains going, especially in rural areas, because like I said, I'm an FQHC as well as a closed-door pharmacy, and the rural areas are all pulling out of there. So we have the potential to grow bigger and be more successful, and we care more. I mean, that's just, so work as a group. Reach out to your peers, find out how they're being successful, and that's the place to do it. Even if you don't do it there, get their contact information.
I love that. And with all that said, I do want to say a huge thank you to Joan Wissinger for providing her incredible insight on RBC and why everyone should be attending RBC. Everyone. I'm super excited this year and hope to see a lot of our listeners there. And to all of you, thanks for listening to today's episode of the Cardinal Health Counter Talk podcast. And as a reminder, if this is your first time listening, make sure you subscribe and download the Cardinal Health Counter Talk podcast wherever you get your podcast. See you on the next episode, and hopefully I'll see a lot of you at RBC. Take care, everybody.